I want to take you to breaking news now because as people in Texas are still reeling from the horrible flooding, a separate incident is unfolding just along the border.
Federal officials have made a move so drastic, it's sending shockwaves through the entire country. The U.S. government has abruptly shut down a major stretch of the California border, and the reason why is nothing short of chilling. This isn't about drugs. This isn't about migrants. What investigators stumbled on underground has left even seasoned agents shaken, forcing an immediate lockdown that no one saw coming. The closure has sparked confusion, fear, and a tidal wave of speculation. Authorities aren't saying much publicly, but what little has leaked makes it clear. This wasn't a simple security breach. Something vast and deeply abnormal was unearthed beneath the desert floor, something that could carry consequences far beyond border control. Sources describe it as an unprecedented subterranean discovery. Others are calling it a national security crisis in real time. Either way, the stakes are high, and officials aren't taking any chances. Entire checkpoints have been sealed, armed agents have flooded the region, and air surveillance is circling above like never before. Tonight, we break down exactly what was discovered, how it was found, and what it could mean for America's safety. But before we get into the shocking details, make sure you're subscribed, because what you're about to hear may change the way you think about national security forever. The discovery didn't come from a dramatic raid or a tip-off. It started with something that seemed ordinary. Along a quiet stretch of the Southern California desert, an area rarely linked with high-profile smuggling, Border Patrol sensors began picking up strange readings. At first, officials assumed it was nothing serious. Minor tremors, shifting soil, maybe even natural underground water movement. But the data kept coming back irregular. Vibrations deep beneath the earth weren't behaving like normal geology. Patterns suggested movement, deliberate movement. Specialized units were sent in, armed not with rifles, but with seismic detection gear and ground-penetrating radar. What they uncovered beneath the surface shocked them. Instead of small fissures or shallow burrows, the scans revealed a sprawling underground formation that stretched for miles. This wasn't the kind of makeshift tunnel cartels carve out for contraband. It was reinforced with steel, aligned with precision, and, most disturbingly, it showed signs of being active. Power signatures, ventilation shafts, chambers branching like veins into the desert floor. Investigators couldn't believe what they were seeing. How could something so elaborate exist right under one of the most closely monitored borders in the world? And how had it gone undetected for so long? That was the moment the entire operation escalated from routine patrol work to a full-blown national security emergency. And as federal teams prepared to breach the site, the true scale of what lay beneath California would reveal itself, layer by layer, chamber by chamber. When teams finally broke through the surface, what they stepped into didn't look like a tunnel. It looked like an installation. Stretching as far as their lights could reach, the underground passageways were lined with reinforced concrete and industrial-grade steel. This wasn't a dirt hole dug in secret. It was engineered, designed with precision, and built to last. The further they went, the more surreal it became. The complex branched into multiple chambers, some the size of warehouses, others narrow corridors twisting into the darkness. Each section was fitted with ventilation ducts, electrical wiring, and even lighting fixtures, suggesting not just construction, but habitation. Whoever built this wasn't planning for a quick smuggling job. They were preparing for long-term occupancy. Investigators found machinery abandoned mid-use, scattered tools, and makeshift workstations still powered by hidden generators. Fresh footprints and discarded rations suggested that the site had been occupied very recently, possibly within hours of discovery. The eerie silence inside only amplified the feeling that whoever had been there left in a hurry. But what stunned experts most was the sophistication of the design. This wasn't the work of a rogue gang or a few ambitious smugglers. The structure required serious resources, funding, engineering expertise, and access to equipment normally restricted to government or corporate projects. One chamber was sealed with blast doors. Another was outfitted with complex piping systems, resembling life support infrastructure. And deeper still, investigators began noticing odd symbols etched into the walls, mathematical notations, scientific diagrams, even cryptic carvings. What exactly was this place built for? Trafficking didn't fit. Storage didn't fit. This was something else entirely. a labyrinth beneath the desert that defied any simple explanation. The moment word reached higher command, the response was immediate and overwhelming. Border Patrol agents were ordered to withdraw, and within hours, the entire neighborhoods near the site were told to remain indoors under what officials called a routine security exercise. Few believed it. The arrival of military engineers, cyber specialists, hazmat teams, and even units normally reserved for nuclear or biological threats sent one clear message. This wasn't routine. As investigators entered the underground complex, it quickly became clear this was no smuggler's tunnel. One chamber resembled a data hub. Rows of scorched servers, high-capacity drives, and fiber optics still faintly powered by hidden generators. Cyber teams confirmed these weren't commercial systems, but custom machines running encryption protocols unfamiliar, even to federal specialists. Another section looked like a control center, consoles wired to unknown power sources, blackened screens, and papers scrawled with strange symbols. Some rooms were radio-shielded, others reinforced as if expecting intrusion. This was a covert intelligence outpost buried beneath one of the most heavily patrolled borders in the world. Then came something worse. Not technology, something biological. Corridors were fitted with incineration systems to erase evidence. Charred remains of equipment and collapsed hallways showed the site had been sabotaged before discovery. The most baffling find was a vertical shaft plunging nearly 200 feet, sealed by an industrial-grade biometric hatch. Engineers failed to bypass it. An abandoned elevator suggested deeper layers below. This was engineering on a scale far beyond smuggling. Whoever built it designed it to operate in secrecy and erase itself if necessary. Yet fragments of data survived, enough to raise darker questions about its true purpose. The shutdown rippled outward like a shockwave. Trade routes froze overnight, trucks sat stranded, and border towns fell silent under communication blackouts. Officials called it a technical issue. But the timing suggested otherwise. International allies demanded answers, hinting they'd tracked unusual activity for years. For Washington, the implications were terrifying. If a facility of this size could hide beneath California, how many others existed beneath highways, towns, or cities? Inside, investigators found not only technology, but evidence of ideology. Journals in multiple languages repeated ominous phrases. The vault must never open. Cycles must continue. Corridors were designed to disorient. Lights pulsed at unsettling frequencies, and chambers swallowed sound to the point of nausea and memory lapses. This was more than a lab. It was psychological architecture. Hints of a broader network soon surfaced, holographic maps showing tunnels stretching deeper inland, perhaps to other hidden nodes specializing in bioengineering, communications, or psychological experiments. For the public, silence from officials only deepened mistrust. Once dismissed conspiracy theories about underground worlds now seemed disturbingly real. What lies beneath California isn't just a tunnel. It's a revelation, an engineered hidden world built with precision, powered by technology, and cloaked in secrecy. Whether it belongs to a rogue state, a shadow organization, or something even stranger, one fact is certain. The ground beneath our assumptions has shifted forever. The California shutdown isn't just a local disruption. It's a warning. The greatest threats may not come from across the fence or skies above, but from deep below.